Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another dollar, where we're going to be looking at our big old channel that we got going on here. There has not been a whole lot that's changed since we spoke yesterday. I mean, basically, the same exact shit as the day before. Oh man, don't you just love these summer day grinds? Don't you just love them? No, I laugh because today was our second smallest range of the year. I do believe. I don't know. Could be the second smallest. It looks like the second smallest. Very tight range, very choppy session. Really wasn't a whole lot to trade. Just kind of like yesterday, there really wasn't a whole lot. I did, however, get involved and ended up taking the loss on the day. And I'm gonna show you guys that here in just a second. I did screen record it, just to kind of show you how I take my trade, what I'm taking it against, and then I tend to, whenever I put in my stops, I tend to stick to my stops. So if I get stopped out, it is what it is. It's the risk that I'm willing to take. So I did sit through this trade that I was in for quite some time and ended up taking the loss. But nonetheless, as you can see, I kind of have highlighted here kind of like our little support resistance balance area, right? Balance high being that 633.50 area, balance low being 45, 45, 25. We've just been chopping around in here. There has not been a whole lot going on, especially these last 3 days, Friday, Monday, and today. Nothing really going on. It's kind of aggravating how much volume we're just kind of packing in here at this 4,600 level. I'd like to see us eventually get some move to the downside or to the upside. Today we did attempt to go to the downside after getting our 11 wide point of control from the previous day. We attempted to go trend down, failed. All we did was kind of chop around and grind lower, set a new low on the day, which was a great fade, really good fade opportunity to come back in to get a wider point of control. So kind of, your typical mean reversion trade, really good risk reward there. Other than that, there really wasn't any other trade. The only trade that I got into, I'll show you here in just a second, was later in the day in H period against C period high here at 4603. I took the short at 45.99 and 4600, thinking we would just kind of pop and then roll over and set new lows on the day, since we had gotten the overnight low and the previous day's low. But those type of trades typically are only good for a few points, and I was trying to squeeze out basically back to the lows. I was hoping to take profits down there or around there, and it just didn't happen. I was up on the trade, could have taken it off for a good gain, but wanted to see how it played out. So, and then obviously I ended up getting stopped out later. So let's go ahead and look at that trade real quick. So you can see on my screen what I'm looking at all over the place. Ignore the 15-minute chart on my right hand side that really didn't have that zoomed in at all. But you can see I'd already taken a position, a 5 lot of the MES here at 45.98.75, and then I had another 5 lot ready to sell here at 4,600. Let's go ahead and speed this thing up. Actually, yep, it's already at 2. Okay, so I have another 5 lot set to sell there, but I do have 4 different accounts up, and on those 4 different accounts, I had that same trade set up. I had that sell order at the 4,600 level, and I was looking to get short as it pops up. So that eventually happens. I get filled, and then this thing just kind of chops around. You can see how our point of control is being developed. You see we finally got that point of control right there at 99. Just chopping around still. Not a whole lot going on. So I had my stop, I believe, just a 1.5 above where C's high was. So I was short 10 on this account, and then I was short 5 on each of the others. So I was short total 25 MES across the board. And you can see I was targeting near the lows. I was looking to see if we'd, just push up to value high, get like an afternoon rally high type of trade, and then this thing roll back over and revisit the lows, and then kind of just continue to set lower lows, kind of round it out, if you will, or at least test that 45, 88, 75 level. But it just didn't seem like sellers were very strong today. And, typically in these ranges, they aren't on either side. Buyers or sellers aren't really strong. But we continue to chop around here. And like I said, each one of these are 30-minute time frames that we're looking at. That is what I primarily trade off of. If you're looking at our 1 minute chart on the top, you can see the 144 simple moving average right here at 97.37, and VWAP right there where that dashed line is at. Basically, we're just chopping in between there right now. Pretty much no man's land. One thing that should have been kind of a warning sign initially was that we held above the 144 simple moving average so long. Normally, you'd like to see us get above, bump our head against VWAP and then push back through it. But the fact that we were holding was kind of, a little eerie, if you will. And then eventually, we do get a pullback. I could have taken a little bit of profit there. I'm up, roughly a point. This thing continues to chop around between VWAP and that 144 simple moving average. Looks like it's getting ready to break through. Looks like it's getting ready to break through, and then it finally begins to break through. Now, at this point, I'm up a little over 2 points. Continues to push down a little bit lower, 46.75 or 96.75, 97. Definitely could have taken profits there. I should have taken profits there, but like I said, a lot of times I was seeing that, boom, it pushed down to 96 real quick. And I was like, all right, maybe we'll start to push on down and revisit the lows again. So I was, confident in this trade. And as you can tell, I was up on this trade across the board there for quite some time. Definitely should have taken out, especially once here in a second, you'll see on the 1 minute chart up here, we get back above the 144 simple moving average, which is not what you want to see, right? You want to see us break below that, hold below it, and then continue to rotate back near the lows. And you can see we get back above it, and then we begin to hold above it once again, which is not what I wanted to see as a seller, right? We begin to grind back up towards the highs here. Continue to grind, continue to grind. Now we're above VWAP, and we're pushing near my stopping point, right? So now I'm in the hole. And like I said, I tend to try to stick to my stop. I don't want to get, I just want to try to be as mechanical as possible when I'm in my trades. I'd like to, let the trade do its thing. Sometimes I, would normally stop myself out here for a quick little loss, and then right after doing so, it'll roll back over, right? Because it didn't hit my stop, but it'll roll over, revisit the lows. So I didn't want to be in that situation. I had my stop there for a reason. That's where I was comfortable getting out of the trade. If I didn't, if it got above that 46.0425 level, then that's where I knew I was going to be wrong, right? So just a point above, sees high, and then I eventually get stopped out. See, it's pushing up, and boom, it finally popped up, stopped me out, and there's my loss of a 51 point loss on that account, and then it's half that on the rest because it was only a 5 lot on the rest of those. But you can see how, it held above that. I got back above that 144, got above VWAP, and then pushed up to that first standard deviation. And thinking about it in hindsight, could have been a good long opportunity, but it just wasn't what I was looking for at the time. I was, expecting us to eventually rotate back to the lows, especially since value was overlapping to lower. We had the overnight low, we had the initial balance low, things of that nature is kind of why. And then after that loss, I didn't trade anything. And then you can kind of see how the rest of the day went here, right? We just kind of chopped around near the highs until we eventually rolled back over to pretty much where I was short initially. But yeah, that's kind of how I think through the process of my trades, why I take those trades, and how I'm comfortable with it. And then you can see here we got that 11Y point of control early on in B period. So that destination no longer exists. If I can get rid of that. We got the previous day's low of day. And then we go out today with today's high, today's low, and a 10Y point of control. Something to note is how we've been creating extremely wide points of control at the 4600 level, at or around the 4600 level. We had that 10 wide here back on Friday. We had the 11 wide yesterday. Today we created another 10 wide point of control at 45.99. So something is going on here. Either we really don't know the direction we want to go, or somebody is unloading at a very light level some of their position. And just for shits and gigs, really, I took a short position on my paper account, just that I tend to swing futures on, because one day I'd like to eventually begin to swing futures, but I'm not anywhere near that point right now. But I did take a short position in the overnight session around the 46.16 level, so I'm in the money pretty good on that short. Eventually, the only way I'm getting stopped out is if we take out the balance high up top, or if I'll take some profit once we begin to trend lower, if that ever began to happen. So we're marking our destinations here on the 30-minute chart. 91 is today's low of day. No, 91 is today's low of day. Even though I took that loss, thankfully it wasn't a very large loss. I had my size mitigated to a reasonable size. In a market like we have right now, where it's just very choppy, you kind of want to keep your size under control. You don't want to be too big. You don't want to be too little. Just because you don't know what can possibly happen. We could have popped up really good, really quickly, and I could have, had on a 40 lot and taken a much larger loss. Not the way I want to start off the month of August, but we got to remain positive. There's a lot that can happen between now and the end of August. So we got to remain positive. Take it day by day. Take the trades that we see, and hopefully, make a little money in the meantime. So there you have it. We have today's low of day here at 45.91. We have a 10Y point of control at 45.99. And then we have today's high of day at 46.0925. Eventually, you'd like to see us take out today's low, roll over, and test the balance low and validate that we don't really want to push lower, or hold it right where we're at the 4600 level, and then begin to push up and visit our highest accepted price at 46.2950, balance high at 46.3350, and get above that. Above that is nothing but clear skies until about 46.60, which we'll look at here on our larger time frame. We'll go over our daily just to kind of show you the balance that we are in. 20-day moving average continues to creep up. It is now at our balance low, pretty much to the point at 45.25. So if at any point in time we pull back there, I would expect a pretty good battle against that 20-day moving average and the balance low there at 45.45. Continues to chop here. Not anything special going on. I mean, its volume continues to drop off. Range continues to contract. At some point, you'd like to see some volatility pick up. Somebody, somewhere, go bankrupt so we can get some moves. No. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the content, you can help a boy out by pressing the like button down below. If not, then, tell me what I can improve on and comment something, not very good. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.